Like and subscribe right now, or this will be in your bed tonight.
Hello and welcome back to ProRevenge. Before we start, please scroll down and click like, subscribe, bang the bell icon for more videos. It will also really help me out. Please press the bell icon, because YouTube does an awful job of telling subscribers when I upload. Thanks. I got revenge on my realtor after I was tricked into a 1-year buyer/agency contract who had no intention of helping us buy a home. TL/DR at bottom. My husband and I met with the top realtor that a very popular agency had to offer. We saved for 2 years and we ready for a home. He was confident, encouraging, and made us feel like he could get us into our dream home. We reviewed financials with him and he saw we each had tier 1 credit, both scores over 800, plus we had enough saved for a conventional loan. He was clearly so happy because he could smell that commission check. He brought out the contract. We discussed the buyer/agency contract, which didn't seem like a big deal because we were very serious about buying. We also knew most realtors did this, so it wasn't alarming. In case you don't know, this contract is standardly a 3-month contract stating that you will not buy/rent/lease any property without the realtor getting their fair commission, and if you go behind their back with someone else, they will be entitled to a percentage of whatever property you purchase. The clause he failed to mention/we missed. This was a 1-year contract. We weren't worried at first because again, we were sure to be buying a property. Let me tell you, when we told him the price range we were looking, about $150,000 under what the bank approved us for, he became completely upset and defensive. Why are you dropping your standards? Don't you have any dying relatives who could cost in so you can get the house paid off quicker? I don't want to show you houses in that area. etc. He saw that large commission check vanish before his eyes. We continued to stay in touch because what option did we have? We were contractual committed to buying a home through him and only him for the next year. We sent him links to many houses, asking when we can see them. He would take a week or 2 to respond back, and when my dream home slipped through my fingers due to his delays, I had enough. I politely asked if he would relinquish us from the contract, as we clearly had different goals. I apologized for being upset, but I told him why. I said I didn't feel like he was making us a priority and I would rather hire someone private. His response? Well, I'll be running your financials for the next year to see if you buy/lease/rent anything. I'd read that contract you signed and find a lawyer. Then he cut communication. I complained to the agency and they said try and work it out with the realtor himself. When I told them I already tried, they brought up the contract. I said I was going to speak to a lawyer about the contract. They laughed and said good luck. The lawyer informed me it could drain our account going against the agency, and we made the painful decision to wait him out the full year, saving a lot more money in the meantime. The contract ends, and we find our perfect first home, above the original price we were approved for, and with the most amazing realtors we have ever met. During closing day at the realtor's office, the sellers of our home used the popular agency we just escaped from. Our previous realtor watched in the hallway as we signed for a house almost $150,000 more than we would bought from him. Exactly 1 month after our contract was up. He scrambled to find the now expired contract because he was sure that he was about to win. I know a lot of people at the office were talking about it, and our realtors let us know what had happened after we left. It made me feel good to watch the horror on his face through the conference room windows as his superior told him to go home due to his frantic behavior. Apparently, he had been using company time and expenses to check on our financials weekly throughout the year in order to catch an easy check through a broken contract. There was no confrontation between us directly, but I definitely feel like we won that one. I looked on their company website and his name has been removed from their listed agents. TL/DR. Realtor tricked us into a 1-year contract and refused to show us houses we wanted, used company time and resources to monitor our financial status hoping we would break our contract and buy through someone else so he could get a percentage of the property we bought. He presumably lost his job due to this and had to watch as we signed for a home $150,000 over our original price range, where he received no commission. College master threatens underage student. Public humiliation ensues. This happened maybe 8 or 9 years ago. I've since graduated and the target has resigned from their position, so I don't have any qualms sharing it. TLDR at the bottom. This revenge involves the uptight master of residential college I attended who had a reputation for being a stickler for the rules, and their subsequent humiliation. I feel like this story straddles the line between petty and pro. It took a fair bit of foresight and planning, and trashed a man's reputation, so I'll leave it here. I tried to put it in petty, but mods wouldn't take it. The inciting incident. Master Grump got in our crosses after one particularly annoying evening of rule stickling. One of the freshers in our dorm, Tommy, was about to have his 18th birthday, the legal drinking age in our country. Tommy was turning 18 on a Monday, and given most of us had late classes on Monday night, we decided to take him out on the Sunday for his birthday. The plan was to have a few drinks on the lawn outside our building, and then take a bus into the city and hit up a club at midnight. Now our college was what is known as a dry college. Alcohol in the building is a big no-no. You can get pissed on the lawn 10 yards from the front door. You can get slaughtered and come home not knowing where your room is. But carrying a can inside will get you cautioned and possibly kicked out. The only exception is if you're handing over alcohol to an Rata keep in a locked storeroom. Generally, most of us were fans of the dry rule. It kept parties outside when you had to study for exams, and generally our building was way cleaner and took less damage than the others on campus. But the application of this rule could cause issues. This night, me, another guy from our dorm and Tommy had just collected a slab we bought earlier from the rat on duty. Just as we are about to leave the building, the other guy says he needs to run upstairs to grab his wallet, and so I take the opportunity to duck into the downstairs bathroom to take a leak. The blame is on us, but the end result is a technically underage Tommy standing by himself with a slab of beer in reception. Oops. Master Grump must have been working late that evening, and while I was in the bathroom, he comes out of reception and starts ripping into Tommy. By the time I'm back there, he's confiscated the alcohol and cautioned Tommy. I tried to explain to him that we had just retrieved the alcohol from the rat on duty and that we were on our way out of the building, but that only got me cautioned for supplying alcohol to a minor. I replied that that was totally unfair and that Tommy would be 18 at midnight and hadn't drunk a thing. Grump just looked at Tommy and said, "How old are you, Tommy?" "I'll be 18 in a few how. And my grandchild will be 18 in 10 years. "How old are you, Tommy?" After chewing us out for being irresponsible and failing to uphold the community standards and our residential agreement etc., he replied that he was required to call Tommy's parents as well as the police. Fun. The police took forever to arrive because apparently a 17-year-old planning to go to a party isn't an urgent priority, who would have thought, and once they arrived it didn't take long to tell they thought the whole thing was a giant waste of time. They warned me about buying alcohol for people underage, but since Tommy was about to turn 18 in like 90 minutes, they didn't really care. Tommy's parents were bewildered. I got given a curfew for 3 months. I had to be back in the building by 11 PM. And so, Tommy's big night out was spent in the master's office, waiting for the police. Woot woot. It was a total stitch up, and it really messed with Tommy. He wasn't a rule breaker by any stretch of the imagination, and was on a scholarship with the college that the master threatened they would pull. Master Grump needed to be taken down a peg. But how? The revenge. Once every couple of months, our college had big formal events. Attendance was mandatory, and everyone would get dressed up, have a sit-down meal, and listen to whatever guest speaker had been arranged for the evening. The quality of the speakers varied. We'd had a mix of different academics, politicians, including a former head of state, artists etc., but it was always a big deal for the college and Master Grump. There were always a couple of tables with honored guests and alumni, representatives from the university and so on. We residents were always put on notice. Any antisocial behavior would be punished swiftly and harshly. People would get cautioned for just failing to attend, let alone causing a scene. None of us particularly wanted to get kicked out of our accommodation, and Tommy certainly didn't want to lose his scholarship, but when it was announced that the education minister would be speaking at the next formal dinner, and that all the brass, including the chancellor, from the university would be in attendance. It felt like an opportunity that shouldn't be missed. This is how the night went down. When Master Grump got up to introduce the education minister, all seemed fine. He began by describing the minister's life, having come from a single parent home and working as an entertainer while studying at Harvard equivalent. He then described how the minister went on to record a number of educational children's songs, including The Elephant's Big Blue Ball, before completing his PhD. While this was going on, the minister's face was getting more and more uncomfortable, and at the mention of the elephant's blue balls, went dark red. But Master Grump just kept going on and on. You see, we had discovered a pattern in the master's introductions at formal dinners. They just happened to read very similar to the Wikipedia article on each one of our guests. We'd noticed this the year prior, when a guest corrected the master on the number of years she had spent doing research in Egypt, and commented that our college weren't the first to get it wrong. It was even incorrect on Wikipedia. That was the seed of this idea. A few backquote corrections to the education minister's Wikipedia profile over the previous 4 weeks proved to be very fruitful on our end, with the result of Master Grump making an absolute idiot of himself. We started small, changing the school the minister went to, adding in a degree he never attained, but before long we had Master Grump calling a sitting minister a former clown who sung kids songs about blue balls in front of the chancellor, the college board, a host of alumni and the minister himself. It was glorious. The minister handled it like a pro. Up the front he just corrected the school he attended and made a comment that he has a terrible singing voice, but watching the high table later we observed a satisfying interaction in which Master Grump looked as white as a sheet and appeared to be apologizing profusely to the minister and his wife. The beautiful thing is that education is the field that our master researches and publishes in. Whether there were consequences beyond the public and professional humiliation we will never know. From the look on the Chancellor's face, I suspect Grump's performance review went swimmingly. Afterwards we went out and celebrated with a slab of beer. TLDR, the uptight master of our college calls the police and threatens to withdraw scholarship money because a technically underage student, by about 3 hours, was holding some alcohol. We proceed to change the Wikipedia bio of an important guest to the college and cause the master to humiliate himself while publicly introducing that guest. Thank you all for watching to the end of the video. But before you go, please like and subscribe for more. Not many of you at all that watch are subscribed or like the video, and this makes me unsure if I should continue to make more content or not. So if you want more content, please like and subscribe. If you don't want to miss out on any future videos, click the bell icon next to the subscribe button. Also please give me some feedback in the comment section about what I can do better, because not many people comment on my videos, so I have no idea of people's opinions of thoughts about this YouTube channel. So yeah, that's all from me. If you have subscribed and liked the video, please consider sharing the video with your friends. Thanks and bye. I'm still doing daily uploads, so hope to see you in tomorrow's video. Bye.